what is this? This is great. But one day, a guy who runs a bar not too far from where my wife was working nights part-time so that we could, pay the rent. That guy, it was raining or something. He was bored. He's like, let's mess with the foreign guy who comes in here occasionally. Okay, so today, no sake, we're going to drink this. And he pushed my first ever shochu in front of me. And I'm pretty sure it was a barley shochu. And I took a whiff. I was like, wow, that's not sake. He's like, correct. Drink it. I was like, all right. So I tried it. It's like, oh, that's a spirit, isn't it? It's kind of, oh, it's nice. He's like, oh, you didn't hate that. Wait a second. Let me find you something you're not going to like. So he turns around, gets me a sweet potato. Sweet potato shochu, pours me one of those. I immediately protested because if you've ever smelled a sweet potato shochu and it's right next to a barley shochu, they're not the same thing. Right. They are so radically different. Right. So I immediately said, that's not a shochu. If the first one was a shochu, that is not a shochu. He's like, same. They're the same. They're both shochu. He then poured me a rice shochu, a buckwheat shochu, and a kokuto sugar shochu, all side by side. All looked like water. Wow. And all smelled radically different. Wow. And it was at that moment I could feel the rabbit hole opening right next to me. Wow. I was like, oh, this is gonna be a thing, isn't it? So I said, okay, let me get this straight. All 5 of these are shochu. Right. He's like, yes. They're all made from different things, but they can all be called the same thing. He's like, yes. Okay. Where do they make this? He's like, down south. So 2 weeks later, I was on an airplane heading straight down there to knock on distillery doors, which didn't go well for me, and just do whatever I could to learn. So 22 years later, here we are. But that was the beginning of the rabbit hole, and I really haven't surfaced yet.